Hey, thank you for joining us here on this Boilermakers Saturday. I'm Gary Libator in for Katrina.
Meteorologist James DeFazio.
And James, a nice warm morning out there. And for the Utica National Insurance Boilermaker Kids Run, we do have some pictures just sent in from
I love these.
Jason Paulus and Jolene Ferris. They are down at MVCC.
It's one of my favorite events of the year.
Covering
it really
that
is.
event.
The kids just love it.
It is definitely warm out there.
It is very warm out there. We're already up into the mid 70s, and with that level, with the levels of humidity, the field like temperatures are now already approaching 80 degrees. So they're going to need to hydrate out there to be safe, and everyone is going to need to this weekend. All the walkers, even the walkers are going to need to hydrate, including obviously all of the runners for tomorrow.
But first, look at possibly some rain.
Yes, we're tracking a couple slow-moving thunderstorms this afternoon, and unfortunately, these thunderstorms look to arrive, fortunately, after the kids' race, and we're tracking a dry start and a dry finish to the race. Fortunately, some of the post-race parties may be interrupted by some of that wet weather. Yeah. However, the heat and humidity are really going to be the main story of the weekend.
Let's get to your radar right away. It looks like there's some rain coming.
Let's get right over to it. Taking a look at the live Yorkville Battery Storm Tracker 2 radar, you can see we have a good amount of showers across the region, most of which are north of the Capital District and out of our hair because these are moving east away from central New York. A couple light showers back across the Finger Lakes and western New York, but these are drying up as they approach central New York. A couple of sprinkles are possible this morning, but what we're really tracking for is for those scattered thunderstorms to develop during the afternoon hours and early evening. And our primary concern is going to be that these are going to be slow movers. We're not expecting strong storms today, but we're not expecting these storms to be moving too much. So we're going to keep an eye out for isolated flooding. And yet again, another hot day on Sunday, and we're tracking those evening storms. Time frame looks to be between 4 and 8 p.m. Mostly sunny start to the day and very warm. We're under a heat advisory for Oneida and Madison counties today because the heat index this afternoon going to climb up into the mid-90s. It's going to be very, very warm today. 79 degrees already up in Rome. Sunny skies with a dew point of 70 degrees, and that makes that feel like temperature 82 degrees, so it's already feeling like it's into the low 80s. Today we climb all the way up to 88 degrees. The heat index is going to be into the low 90s, possibly mid 90s. Those scattered thunderstorms develop in the afternoon. Coming up, we're going to track those as well as take a deeper look at that Boilermaker forecast. Gary?
James, thanks. We will continue our Boilermaker coverage in just a moment.
Remainder of the month, we are looking like summer is sticking around. Let's take a look at our Boilermaker preview. We're thinking temperatures around race time are right around 75 degrees. Very warm, very humid, partly cloudy skies, partly sunny skies, some breaks of sun and clouds, and very humid conditions. As we approach 9 a.m., it's going to warm up closer to 80 degrees, a very, very warm Boilermaker. Heat and humidity continue today, and a heat advisory has been issued for Oneida and Madison counties from noon to 7 p.m. And that's for heat index values this afternoon in excess of 95 degrees. We're tracking the chance for scattered, slow-moving thunderstorms this afternoon and evening, and these could cause some areas of extremely isolated flooding, and we're going to continue to keep a very close eye on that. The Boilermaker's looking hot and humid, but dry for the race. We are thinking dry for the race now. Storms develop during the afternoon on Sunday. Current conditions already up to 79 degrees at Griffiths, despite it being just after 9 a.m. A dew point of 70, tropical levels of humidity, heat index values already 3 to 4 degrees above the actual temperature. As we head into Sunday morning, the feel-like temperature, according to our in-house model, 72 degrees at 7 a.m., 75 degrees at 8 a.m., 78 degrees at 9 a.m. Very, very warm weather for the race. And that warm weather continues into Sunday afternoon. We're going to continue to see dry weather for the majority of this morning today, but by shortly after noon, Saturday afternoon, slow-moving showers and thunderstorms develop across the region. And these are going to be around through the evening hours, but overnight we dry out. We start Sunday morning relatively dry, and then as a cold front approaches, showers and thunderstorms fire off along this line. We have a line of storms work through between 4 and 8 p.m. Sunday night, as well as early Monday morning, which is why we recommend, if you are going to get the lawn cut, try to get it cut early today or early tomorrow, because we are expecting those afternoon showers and storms and with the wet weather, Monday will be tough. Heat and humidity here to stay even after the warm weekend. It gets even hotter as we head into next week. Primarily dry conditions today, but as we head into the afternoon, those slow-moving thunderstorms, and again, we're going to be keeping an eye on these, making sure that none of them go over the same locations, making sure that rainfall rates stay beneath flood threat. Taking a look at your 7-day forecast, a very hot, humid Boilermaker in the forecast. Showers continue into Monday morning. Showers begin to come to an end Monday afternoon and evening, but we don't get too much of a reprieve from the cold front. We're still only in the mid-80s after the cold front. Even warmer Tuesday and Wednesday, highs up into the low 90s Wednesday. Showers and thunderstorms round off the week, and then hotter weather even settles in for the weekend. And I find this incredibly impressive. 48 consecutive years, all the way back in 1978. 876 people ran back in 1978. What's crazy to me is we still have legacy runners. It blows my mind. I know we showed them during the 5 and the 6 last night. I believe, if I can remember correctly, that there are still 7 people that have run every single race. So 7 of these 876 people have done this 48 years in a row, which God bless them.
And we'll have their names coming up in just a bit. Eric, thanks. Well, in the last year, we here in New York State have experienced more than our fair share of severe weather, from floods to tornadoes to record-breaking snowfall. And yesterday, Governor Hochul gave an update on the continued improvement of the Severe Weather Communications Center in Albany. It includes a $15 million investment in this year's budget to give county emergency managers supplies like generators and flood barriers, and another $10 million in training, some of which happens right in our backyard at the State Preparedness Center in Oriskany.
Our tabletop exercises, I participated in a number of them, what it looks like when you have all the professionals around a room. It's very impressive. And I sit there and they bring data to me based on a scenario that is often based in facts from elsewhere, and how they tell me how they respond to it, and I have to answer questions on how I want actions taken. So
the governor is also reminding New Yorkers that they can text the name of their county to 333-111 to receive real-time emergency and weather alerts to their phones. Coming up, a look at an attack on a television in Oklahoma City are working to determine if an attack on a television station's weather radar is tied to online threats and conspiracy theories. Reporter Dylan Brown has more from OKC this morning.
To think that these massive radars are somehow controlling the weather, officials say, is ridiculous, and they say it could be dangerous, and they're aware of the threats made on social media.
It started with the chemtrails, and then it moved into Hurricane Helene.
Conspiracies pick up steam after major weather events. A Metro News station's weather radar attacked this week, going offline briefly. Threats have come from a far-right extremist group called Veterans on Patrol, the same group that pushed for border vigilantes. Its leader, Michael Lewis Arthur Meyer, who has been arrested several times in several states, posting online, "We intend to take as many NEXRADs offline as possible once our attack simulations have prepared us."
They sort of will grab on to conspiracy theories, and they will make them sound credible to a portion of the population.
Rachel Goldwasser of the Southern Poverty Law Center has been tracking the group for years.
He's become very vehement against the military and its members, and I do think that that could pose a danger in the future as well.
They said Hurricane Helene was caused by government weapons.
The U.S. military plays God with the weather and sent weather weapon Helene into western North Carolina to depopulate and steal land.
That group's eyes now set on extreme weather events, calling weather radars weather weapons.
Yeah, that's impossible.
Sebastian Torres works with the National Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration. He says radars are essential to knowing when and where severe weather will hit. We're here at the National Weather Service's Norman location. This is the radar right here. Look at that massive thing. Here, they've got a fence. They've got barbed wire. They've even got this no trespassing sign, because if someone gets over and knocks this out at all, it could be a very serious situation for you and your loved ones.
You don't see it. There's nothing that can do to change things.
Well, they shouldn't believe it.
Dean Robert Palmer at OU is the director of the National Weather Center. Says he takes the threats seriously.
I mean, I've heard about it from our federal partners, and yeah, so we're being careful.
Dylan Brown reporting from Oklahoma City, and so far police have not made an arrest directly connected to the radar attack. Still to come on Weekend Today. Joining us for this half hour of Weekend Today, we want to get you right over to the Weather Center with meteorologist James DeFazio. And James, I know I just stepped out here a few minutes ago, and it is a warm one.
Stifling. I mean, it's 9:33 a.m. and we're seeing many areas in central New York already in the low 80s.
Wow.
It's very impressive, a very warm start, and it is a sign of what's to come for the remainder of the weekend. We're expecting a similar type warm-up tomorrow morning, so expect these temperatures around this time tomorrow yet again. Tracking a couple of showers and storms across the Yorkville Battery Storm Tracker 2 live radar. All of the major showers and storms and the heavier rainfall is to the east of the area and heading towards the Capital District or exiting the Capital District. Some lighter showers to the west over the Finger Lakes. These are dissolving and falling apart as they're working in central New York. We are going to see scattered storms today. However, they're going to develop right between 12 and 1 p.m. this afternoon. Afternoon thunderstorms that are slow movers today. Tomorrow we're going to be tracking a cold front that brings thunderstorms between 4 and 8 p.m., but a dry morning for the race. We're going to break down that Boilermaker race forecast coming up. Mostly sunny in downtown Utica to begin the day. Again, a very warm, humid start. We have a heat advisory in effect today from noon until 7 p.m. for Oneida and Madison counties, and that's for these heat index values climbing up into the mid-90s. We're up to 79 in Rome with sunny conditions, a dew point at 70 degrees, making it feel even warmer, feel like temperature of 82 degrees. Today, those highs climb up into the upper 80s, feel like temperatures into the mid-90s. Scattered thunderstorms, slow movers, develop this afternoon. They shouldn't be too strong. Coming up, we're going to take a look at that Boilermaker forecast, as well as how much heat and humidity is to come. Gary?
James, thanks. Hydration will
The WKTV Tower Cam is brought to you by the Central Association for the Blind and Visually Impaired. From Central New York's most dependable weather team, here's meteorologist James DeFazio.
Good Saturday morning. Tracking very hot, humid weather for this Boilermaker weekend, and this hot, humid weather is here to stay through the weekend into next week and going to be around for most of the summer, it's looking like. Let's take a look at the Boilermaker preview, where temperatures right now are going to be very similar to what they are in 24 hours. Very, very warm. We're in the upper 70s, low 80s right now, and that's going to be very similar 24 hours from now. When race time starts, 75 to 80 degrees, very warm, very humid. Make sure you're hydrating, take precautions, be prepared for this incredibly warm, incredibly humid Boilermaker, possibly record-breaking warm in terms of the 48-year history. Heat and humidity continue today. We have a heat advisory that goes into effect at noon for Oneida and Madison counties, and that lasts until 7 p.m. Scattered, slow-moving thunderstorms develop this afternoon and evening, and we're going to be tracking those for the chance for a couple areas of isolated flooding. Boilermaker looks hot and humid. Dry for the race. We're tracking storms to develop during the afternoon and evening. 79 degrees with sunny skies up in Rome, a light breeze, a 70-degree dew point, very, very high dew point, very, very humid out there, tropical levels of humidity, a feel-like temperature already climbing into the low 80s. Taking a look at the bigger picture, we have some slow-moving thunderstorms that fire off this afternoon and evening. They dissipate as we head into the overnight. We start Sunday morning dry. However, as this cold front begins to approach towards the afternoon hours, a line of showers and storms works through during the afternoon. As we head towards Monday morning, another line of organized showers and storms works through shortly around daybreak. And then this cold front begins to work eastward and calmer weather settles in. Look at the temperature trend. Hot weather here to stay. Upper 80s Saturday and Sunday. A little bit of a reprieve Monday, but still mid 80s. Up into the low 90s by Wednesday. Just stifling levels of heat. Primarily dry through this morning, but as we head into the afternoon, those slow-moving thunderstorms develop across central New York, and they're going to be around through the afternoon and evening. And again, we're going to be keeping a close eye on the rainfall rates with these. Isolated areas of flooding are possible. We are expecting some areas of heavy rainfall to develop, and these storms aren't going to be moving a whole lot. Sunday, we start dry for the race, but as we head into the afternoon, showers and thunderstorms develop. They start with a couple of showers across central Oneida County. From 4 to 8 p.m., showers and thunderstorms work through the region. Taking a look at your 7-day forecast, after a stifling Boilermaker and a couple of showers on Monday morning, pleasant weather arrives for Tuesday and Wednesday. However, very, very hot weather with that dry weather. Showers round out the weekend, a couple of storms Thursday and Friday. As we head back into the weekend, it looks to stay in the mid-80s and very warm, summery weather. I find this incredibly impressive. I can't run 1 mile in the amount of time that they run 9.3 miles. Yes, the record is 42 minutes, which is incredibly impressive. That was set by Jamal Ymir McConan, and this was back in 2023. That's an average of 4 minutes, 51 seconds per mile for over 9 miles. So under a 5-minute mile for the entirety of the race. And that's the same for the women's. The women's record is still only 47 minutes, 33 seconds. And that was set the same year by Jessica Schallengatz. So, wow. Yeah, very, very incredibly impressive.
Well, if we start trending now, we might get close. How's that?
I don't know. I don't know about that.
James, thanks. Well, this year's big
Cast tonight at 6 with meteorologist James DeFazio, and it's going to be a scorcher tomorrow.
Stifling.
Yeah.
Straight up stifling. Everybody should be taking whatever preparations they can to prepare for an extremely warm and extremely humid morning. We're expecting, similar to what happened this morning, temperatures are going to be right around the upper 70 to near 80 degree mark during the beginning of the race. Very warm, very humid conditions. Feel like temperatures by the middle of the race are going to be into the low to mid 80s. It's going to be a very warm morning and a very warm day. We saw some scattered thunderstorms roll through central New York earlier, and we have a flood advisory in effect for southern Herkimer County, as well as southern Montgomery County, as also portions of northeast Hamilton County. This flood advisory for southern Herkimer County stays into effect until 6:45 p.m. Downtown Utica, mostly sunny skies. A couple of showers moved through earlier today, but we're over to drier weather now. 85 degrees with sunny skies, a 7-mile-per-hour breeze, a 73-degree dew point, making it feel all the way like 92 degrees, tropical levels of humidity, very impressive levels of humidity. We're going to continue to track these scattered thunderstorms this evening, as well as into the overnight. Drier conditions settle in. We're going to take a further look, a more detailed look at that Boilermaker forecast coming up. Ben?
All right, James, thank you very much. Firefighters in Vernon battled an early morning.
The WKTV Tower Cam is brought to you by the Central Association for the Blind and Visually Impaired. From Central New York's most dependable weather team, here's meteorologist James DeFazio.
Good Saturday evening. Continue to track some slow-moving scattered thunderstorms, but the primary story of the weekend is the heat and the humidity. It's very hot and it's very humid, and it's not going anywhere anytime soon. Let's take a look at downtown Utica, which saw a thunderstorm a short while ago. Saw a thunderstorm work through downtown Utica. Conditions have since dried up quite a bit, and the sun has peeked back out, partly to mostly sunny skies. The temperatures climbed back up into the mid-80s. We're going to continue to see primarily dry conditions with some isolated showers for the remainder of the evening and into the overnight. The heat and the humidity continue into the overnight tonight. The heat advisory remains in effect until 7 p.m. We're still seeing isolated areas with heat index values into the mid-90s. Scattered, slow-moving thunderstorms are slowly coming to an end right now, and drier weather settles in overnight. The Boilermaker is looking extremely hot and extremely humid. It's going to be a dry start to the race. Showers develop by mid-morning into the early afternoon hours. Your Yorkville Battery Storm Tracker 2 live radar. We can see this cluster of thunderstorms which worked through central New York a couple of hours ago. These have since slid off to the east-northeast and are heading towards the Capital District. They did drop a good amount of rainfall over southern Herkimer County. Southern Herkimer County underneath the flood advisory until 6:45 p.m. due to about 1.5 inches of rainfall that fell in about an hour. 85 degrees with sunny skies in Rome, a 73-degree dew point, which again, that is why it feels like 92 degrees right now currently. And that's why that heat index, or excuse me, that heat advisory remains in effect until 7 p.m. And I expect that to get reissued yet again at some point tonight for tomorrow, because we're going to be experiencing similar levels of heat. Drier weather settles in tonight, but as we head into the late morning hours, early afternoon hours of Sunday, as soon as everybody's getting ready to party after the Boilermaker, showers and thunderstorms develop ahead of this cold front. Showers and thunderstorms continue Sunday night into Monday morning. We dry out as we head into Monday afternoon. Probably going to be too wet on Sunday to get the lawn cut. The second half of Monday, especially the evening hours, looking dry. Tuesday also presenting a good opportunity to get the lawn cut. The heat and humidity here to stay. Highs in the upper 80s through the weekend, near 90 degrees by the middle of next week. Drier conditions overnight, and then by tomorrow morning, partly to mostly cloudy skies, but it doesn't last. By race time start, 79 degrees with partly cloudy skies, 81 at 10 a.m., 84 by noon with showers and storms developing. Scattered showers and storms continue for the remainder of the Boilermaker. Again, your Boilermaker preview, very warm, very humid start with 75 to 80 degree weather. Your 7-day forecast, after a shower and thunderstormy weekend, partly sunny weather settles in for Tuesday and Wednesday. Very hot weather continues with highs all the way into the low 90s on Wednesday.
Your forecast and that race forecast tonight at 11. Here's meteorologist James DeFazio. What are we looking at for tomorrow, James?
We are tracking an absolutely stifling, very warm, very humid race.
Bring your water.
Yes, everyone be hydrated, be prepared, and be very ready for an incredibly warm race. This is going to be one of the warmest races that we've actually ever had. Temperatures are going to be right around race time, right around 75 degrees. By the middle of the race, we're right around 80 degrees, and this is with high levels of humidity. So the feel-like temperatures going to be even higher than this, going to be in the upper 70s and then into the mid 80s as we head into the race. Tonight, primarily calm weather, a beautiful moonrise there on the Nexus cam off in the distance there. Very warm and very humid despite the clear skies. 73 degrees with a 69 degree dew point, making for very humid, borderline tropical level conditions. Primarily dry on your Yorkville Battery Storm Tracker 2 live radar, and these dry conditions that have built in are going to continue to settle in through the overnight tonight and into tomorrow morning. Lows tonight only going to be in the low 70s, a very muggy night, around 71 for lows. Coming up, we're going to break down the Boilermaker forecast in detail. Dave?
Thanks a lot, James. Firefighters in
Storm Tracker 2 team, where we track storms. The WKTV Tower Cam is brought to you by the Central Association for the Blind and Visually Impaired. From Central New York's most dependable weather team, here's meteorologist James DeFazio.
Good Saturday evening. After some slow-moving thunderstorms earlier this evening, we are now over to much drier weather, and we're just tracking hot, humid conditions to continue overnight and into Boilermaker Sunday. Take a look at downtown Utica right now, where we have a very beautiful shot on the Nexus cam. The moon hiding behind the few cirrus clouds that are in the sky, mostly clear skies, but these few faint clouds presenting a very pretty picture right now across downtown Utica. mostly clear skies, 73 degrees. It's going to stay very warm overnight tonight. Drier weather has settled in, and it's going to continue through the overnight and into tomorrow morning. The Boilermaker is going to be both very hot and very humid. We're going to track that a little bit more in detail coming right up. Thunderstorms arrive Sunday afternoon and evening. A couple of light showers also possible during the late morning, but we're not expecting the thunderstorms to ramp up until we get into the afternoon. Yorkville Battery Storm Tracker 2 live radar is quiet and dry across central New York. It's going to stay that way through the first part of the morning tomorrow. Again, the race is going to begin dry. 73 degrees with clear skies in Rome, a 69 degree dew point, very, very high levels of humidity, borderline tropical levels of humidity, and that continues into Boilermaker Sunday. A cold front begins to approach from the west tomorrow, and during the late morning, a couple of showers fire up. During the afternoon and evening, we're going to see a round of widespread showers and thunderstorms, another round of widespread showers and thunderstorms early Monday morning, and then drier weather works in during the second half of Monday, decreasing clouds Monday afternoon, and then pleasant weather settles in for Tuesday. Your Clinton Tractor and Implement Mowcast. If you got up really early on Sunday, you'd have time to get the lawn cut. On Monday, you'd have to wait until the second half of the day. On Tuesday, the best opportunity with a completely dry day forecast. Heat and humidity here to stay even after this weekend. As we head into next week, we are into the low 90s by the middle of next week. Highs by Wednesday around 91 degrees. Mostly clear skies tonight, very, very warm. Lows only in the low 70s. Tomorrow morning, race time, partly sunny skies, 77 degrees. Incredibly warm, incredibly humid. 9 a.m., 79 degrees. Very, very warm conditions. 10 a.m., 81 degrees. Again, and with the levels of humidity, it's going to feel like the mid-80s. Showers and storms develop by noon. Showers and thunderstorms overspread the region during the afternoon and evening. Again, your Boilermaker preview, incredibly warm, incredibly humid. Please be safe out there. Going to be very, very, very stifling warm. A look at the 7-day forecast. Showers and storms continue into through the first half of Monday, and then pleasant weather settles in for Tuesday and Wednesday, albeit with very hot conditions. Upper 80s Tuesday, low 90s Wednesday. Showers and storms round out the week, and then dry, pleasant weather to begin next weekend.